kick it off and not do the stinger. All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to SharePoint Power Hour. I am Laura Rogers, and
Joelle Farley, or Jobson, whatever my last name is.
I've known you for so long. I still think of you as Joelle Farley too. It's been y'all been married like what, over a year now?
2 years almost. Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, so it's me and Joelle here for SharePoint Power Hour, and we actually are both on the camera this time with some never any technical difficulties doing that.
Never.
So SharePoint Power Hour is a show that we do on Wednesdays at 11 Central, and I'm in Birmingham, Alabama, and Joelle's over in Atlanta.
Yep.
And so the fun thing about this being a live show is that we have a chat going on in Slack. So it's iwmentor.slack.com. And in right below this video that you're watching, wherever you're watching it, you should see a little link to fill in a form to join for the first time if you haven't. And let me go ahead and broadcast to Facebook too. And all right. Okay, so we're live on YouTube and Facebook. And our topic today is the new SharePoint page templates that are just rolling out. So this is going to be maybe in some tenants and not in some tenants. So it's just kind of a, you might want to just check. I have a few different tenants that I've checked, and it existed in one out of the three. So we're going to go ahead and demo that today and talk about it and talk about why to use it and how this is beneficial and kind of the way we used to do publishing pages. All right, so I'm going to take our little screen here, and I'm already sharing the screen, so I'm just going to kind of move us out of the way and move my, that way I don't have to, whenever I switch scenes in this software is when it messes up. So now we've got desktop sharing with one of us on each side. Okay, so hi everybody.
Hello.
Come say hello in the chat window. It's good to see you all here. And we go ahead and share this publishing page. So just quick recap, back in the old days of SharePoint, we had publishing pages and wiki pages and web part pages. And publishing pages had the concept of having page layouts, page templates, and publishing pages are now communication sites are what you do instead of the old publishing sites. And the concept there is more one-way communication. Most people are reading the pages and few people are editing them. Like some companies are really strict where their marketing department is the only one that's allowed to edit them. And then team sites are where you do more of your just day-to-day collaboration. So these pages are going to exist in both, right, Joel? Just communication sites and team sites. Mm-hmm. But mostly where you'll use this concept, I think, is going to be, at least to start with, on your communication sites to have, what's the purpose of to have like a standard? To have like a uniformity among all your pages.
Yeah.
So if you want to enforce, it's also a uniformity, but it's also more of just like a time saver, right? So if you have just standard things that you need people to have on all of your pages and certain way that it needs to look, you just you have it on the template already and it saves you some time. Mm-hmm. But some companies are really strict about that, the way the pages need to look.
Yeah, I think that there are some that are really strict about it. So, hold on 1 second. Sorry.
So some companies are really strict about it, and some companies will actually make you have certain things in certain places on a page. So then it really helps though, because then when people are navigating all around in your in your intranet, then they know exactly what to expect and know where to find certain tidbits of information, like if you're going to put information about your team in a certain place. So if you all are trying out the site pages for the first time, go to your home page. So I have a home page here. So I go to my home page, and when I click either new page or new news post, anything that I'm going to do about not lists and libraries and apps, but this is where you'll see, and you'll see these defaults by without, if you haven't created your own yet, you'll see these defaults here. So I have blank, visual, and basic text. So blank is just an empty page, and visual, and it shows you what it's going to look like. So it gives you some ideas of where to start and what could be on a very visual page. And let me see, Joelle, let me get that turned back on. There we go. Okay, cool.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And that's okay. And then this one's got basic text, so it shows you how to kind of line stuff up and put a bunch of text in different sections on a page. And then you have, when you create your own, you'll have them listed here too. Now I have my resolution really large, so they're not going to show this like gigantic on the side of the page. They really looks much more neat. So you can pick from one of these and then get started creating your page. So that's the idea of a page template, is that, so I created this one. We'll go ahead and create a new one, and then we'll kind of go through what it looks like as an end user to use the ones you've created. So I created one that's that I just called a page template, and I'll just create another one that's going to be like a news template, like a news page template. So like news is going to be more added very often, and they're like news articles, where a page is going to be kind of just static information about your department, your team, that kind of thing. Okay, so I'm just going to create a new page just from blank, I'll create a new news post, and I'll start from blank. And then, so this is just the experience of creating a page, right? But this is going to be, what do I want my news post to look like? So I'll say news. And then save it as a draft. So notice, as soon as I've at least saved it one time, it's still saving. Then I have, stop. I have to go back and edit it. Just my draft is saved. So it says save as template. So then when I'm in edit mode, I saved it as a draft. I haven't published it yet, but what I want to do is I want this to be a template. I don't want this to be just a regular news page. So I'm going to say save as a template. So now I'm working on a template. Now, I don't know if kind of the way I got to that was the smoothest way, but that's the most obvious way I found to get to that kind of that screen. So I'll say news template. And then in the template, do I want to set up the way I want their header to look? Do I want everybody to have sort of a standard header that they use, a standard way that this top part needs to look? So I can decide that here.
And one idea too with that, it would be that like if certain people will like to have like a certain header image for a certain news type, so like if it's an HR news item, or you know what I mean, like depending on how they categorize, they might want to have like a specific image that's used as the header for like HR versus finance,
like communication, okay,
yeah, so that might be an idea too, to have that image kind of built in there so that they don't have to go find it and choose the right one.
That's a good idea. So I'll just say like this is a communication site. I'm not going to use this color block one just because of my resolution right now. It's so gigantic. But I'll just say like this is a communication site. And of course you might have all of your own pictures that you can pick from, but I mean, they make this so easy by letting you pick from here pick from just the web to just find a nice professional looking picture. So I'll do, let me go back. Those are kind of cheesy actually. Ooh, ants. I can use ants. Technology. Ooh, that's a cool one. But I don't know that has the best resolution, so I can look for ones that are wide and large and narrow it down like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then of course I can drag this up and down. So that's the idea of just having that in your page. Now, I also might want people to always have the 1/3 right when they write their news. So I want to have, like, this is the title of your article, or like an introduction, like a brief introduction. And that's going to be sort of separate from the main body of text, just so that it kind of lets you know a little bit more about what you're about to read. And then you could even set up what you want the font to be, right? No, you can't do the fonts in here. Let me see. Let me go over here. There's font style and font size and color. There's not actual font, because font is more part of your color scheme, right? Like your branding. Yeah. So there's, of course, for the text web part, it has an extra place over here where you could do more with your font. And then over on the right, what are some common things you might want to have on the right side of your news article, like links to other stuff maybe?
An image, typically, like at the top, in the top right.
Oh,
like
an image. Yeah, that's a good
Yeah.
idea. Yeah. So I can pick just like a generic image, and we can just tell people that this is where your image that represents this news article would go.
Yeah, but they would swap it out.
Yeah. Change this image to one that goes with your article, your news. And then the quick links, I can configure that in a certain way so that they're always going to be using the same, they're all going to kind of look the same. So like for adding links, I can just add like just a link to something random. I can say I want them to use the icons so that it all looks very standard. Stick a heart there. So it's up to you as far as whether you want to actually have a link in there already, but that's where you could put those. And then, so you got the main body of text, you've got a picture and some links, and then maybe you might want to have underneath that, do you want to have another web part that describes something about your team? Or no, because that would be more for a page, not a news article. What else is a news article? News article is just going to have like some information and pictures. So you could say, maybe you could add pictures. Where's that one that has, let me, you know what? I'm going to use the expanded web parts and do an image gallery. So optionally add an image gallery. And then that would be more pictures having to do with whatever your news is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's the idea of just having, I called it like the communication team news template. So I don't want to have my face in here, my personal name in here. But what if I have like, I have one in here called IT department. No, I don't think I have.
Like a group.
So if you have a shared mailbox that is something that represents, like this is a shared mailbox actually, even though it doesn't look like one. If you have a shared mailbox that represents that team, you could actually put, start typing and put the name of the shared mailbox there. So if your communication team has their own shared mailbox, then that way it would have that icon here at the top of all the communication pages, and they would be able to, and then like maybe the IT ones would have a link to the IT department, but you don't have to have a person here. So I'm just going to save my page template. You also had the setting whether you turn on comments or not. You could turn that off as part of the template. So let's see, once I've created my template, so now I've got my news template, then when I go to my pages library, I am going to notice that I have a new folder here called templates, and that's where it keeps them. So I've got this test template I created before we got started and news. So that's where they're automatically going to end up. But now when I go back, now I noticed, hold on, let me go back to my pages. The first thing I thought to do, Joelle, was just click new here.
Mm-hmm.
But clicking new here in the site pages library doesn't take me through that little wizard. See, it just takes me to a new page.
Right.
So when I go home, I would think that, again, this is brand new, so maybe they'll put it there. But then when I go home, I go to new and I choose either page or news post, then that's when I get this wizard. And see, if I click view templates folder, notice that it's just taking me straight to that folder that I just showed you in the site pages library. So that's where it keeps them all. This is a, what other questions did we have? Oh, Jamie says, what permissions are needed to create page templates? We can test that out, but I'm pretty sure you have to be at least a member just to create anything.
Pages, yeah.
Yeah, to create pages. And then this one is a communication site, yes.
Yeah, but you can do it on Teams as well. A team site. So yeah. Susan McClements with I only get a copy of this page, not the save as template. You might have to publish it once to see that. Like publish it one time and then edit it and then see if you see it then. You might not have it yet, but that might be something to try, because I noticed that little drop down next to the save thing didn't pop up until after I published it once.
Yeah, because you have to be in edit mode to do that.
Yeah, but you publish it and then edit it and then you'll see it.
Yeah. So like that little drop down you're talking about, you don't get that if you're in edit mode. I think you only get that when you're in just looking at a page, right?
Well, I think it shows up in edit mode, but you have to have at least published it once.
M Moment says, can you put a group name in there in that person box? I don't think so. Maybe Joelle. What?
AD group, maybe.
An AD group, but it would have to be an email enabled AD security group, but it can't be an Office 365 group, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't tested it.
I can try one. I have an Office 365 group in here. Let me click cancel. That's not really related to page templates, but let me go back to, so I can go, if I want to go edit the template, I can go back to the template in here, and this is the one I just created, and I can click edit page template. Notice that this edit button looks different. It lets you know that it's a page template, and when you click this button, it takes you to, unfortunately, it doesn't take you to a new window, which it should. It doesn't take you to a new window, but it takes you to this link, and that's the link that I shared with you all in the chat there. So I'm going to edit the page template, and then this is going to be, let's see, like April. Yeah, no, I know I have an Office 365 group in here called April class from the class I just taught, and it is not something that it's letting me pick from. It's only letting me pick from things that are either individuals or shared mailboxes, or it'd have to be like an AD email enabled security group. Okay, So that is how you could edit a template if you wanted to. So I'll just save it again. And I can look at my template details. Now that is just going to be the metadata of this template, and that's going to have the page description, thumbnail, and custom properties. So when I go to my page, that's the same as the concept of the page properties. Let me go edit the template again and go to template details. So when I'm editing a template, when I'm editing a page or a template, I can edit these details. If I'm just viewing it and I click to look at the details of a page or a template, I'm just looking at them. But if I want to actually change what the thumbnail is of the template, I can do that in here. So I can directly edit what the template is. Now, this description automatically gets the stuff that I typed over here. So that's going to be something that's going to be needed to change once they type something else there, when they use the template, it would change. But that is my metadata. And that is editable. Now that's additional metadata I've added. So I'm going to get to that in a minute though. Let me get back out of here. Jeremy says it doesn't change who the publisher is. No, I mean, you still have the created by and modified by fields. That's just more of like just a visual to give people. So now I'll go back home.
Yeah, we had somebody who was using like a user that had like, it was like corporate communications, so that it would show that at the top as the author.
So I go to new page, and this is one that I created right before we got started. So I'll just say create page. So the one I just created was more of a concept of what a news article would look like, but this is more of what maybe a page having for your department or something like that. So I'll just call it like IT team. So now I'm using the template for a new page that I'm creating. So I call this IT team homepage. And then again, I can take away mine. It's automatically going to put my name in here. And then this is where the end user using this template would start typing their own stuff. And then this is also where that person would put their own image over here. They'd go in here and change it. And just change the image and make it link to something else. So this is our IT guy. And then they would put their own special IT links over here. And in their news, they could just say, I want news from this site, or, customize what news they want to see there. Okay, and of course, these are just things that I put in the template. Another good thing that I put in the template is this. This is the page properties web part. And the page properties web part lets me put, now by default, the title is the only page property I'm going to have. So the page properties web part is where you could add additional metadata to your site pages library and be able to display that here. So that's what I've done in this case. I've added a couple of extra columns. So that people kind of do that, like to organize when they have lots of different pages and stuff, Joelle.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, this one's just got a it's a date picker, it's article posted and property, and it's just showing it on the page itself. And then I put our team. So down here, I use the section coloring and I just put a different color here. And so then the person filling out this page could just fill in who their team is right there. And then, it visually looks a little bit different. So those are the kind of things that you can put in the template, is visually having different colors down the page. And some of this stuff, though, you can't lock it down.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
You can't lock it down. Some of this stuff you will have to have guidance and governance. And or maybe put descriptive text on here on the template to let people know what not to remove something, or I'm not sure, but
yeah, we've and one thing that might even just to be added text web part to describe how to use everything.
oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
And
so
then
then they
make sure
can.
that they remove the text web part.
Yeah. Remove this one done.
um, let's see. Lisa says, "Can you use these templates for Microsoft Teams sites?" Microsoft Teams sites.
So team sites, yes, but in
Or
Microsoft
do you mean
Teams,
Microsoft Teams, Lisa, or do you mean team
I mean, you
sites?
could,
That's two
yeah.
different things. Okay, let me go ahead and save this. So then anytime I'm saving a page, just any page or news article I'm working on, I can choose either save it a draft or save it as a template. So I don't have to know that I'm creating a template when I first start creating a page. I'm just going to save it as a template here. So I'll just go ahead and publish this one. So, and yes, you can, and look, I can also, after I publish it, another one of the new options here, more screenshots to redo, right, Joelle? Yay.
Yep.
Is I can pick to save it as a page template like that after I've already published it. So it gives you lots of different, very obvious ways to decide that you want that to be a template. So then we have the concept of metadata. So you could put, let me see, let me go to my, I'll just go to my pages here. Oops. And I have, so there's my templates folder. And these are just some pages that I was playing around with stuff and I didn't actually publish them. Can clean those up. Now notice I've got article posted and type of page. So those are, what are those? Jeremy says it's nice because it steers people from just dumping documents on the page. Are you talking about the concept of templates in general?
Yeah, I think so. Just that it keeps them from just kind of putting a document library and calling it a day. It makes them use like a nice template. That's what I think is what he's trying to say.
So, and we'll test the permissions thing too, since we've got a whole hour. I mean, why not? Joelle, while I'm looking at these site columns, can you go in there and let's see, what account can we use to make like a, I'm trying to think what other extra account I have in that tenant that I could just log in as one of the old student accounts. Just pick like a, I'll pick a student. We'll just pick a student, just somebody, it doesn't matter. Some lucky student in there that is active can get read. I just want to give them read permission. So just pick a student account that's active and just give them read permission. And then we'll just go see, what it looks like, and we can test the permissions question. Okay. So I added some metadata, and this is interesting. Site page and repost page. I never noticed that. That must be new too. Site page and repost page. Have you ever noticed those, Joelle?
Never noticed repost.
Huh. This is a fairly new site collection. That's a new one. Okay, so anyway. So I added article posted, and I added type of page, which is a choice field, and I put business and fun. I can put, we'll just leave it as business and fun to keep it simple. So the default is business, but so I'll go create a page that's supposed to be like a fun template. How about that? And then we'll kind of see how that metadata could work and what we could do with it. So when I go to create a new page, I'll just choose this lovely visual one.
Looks like I might have to give myself access to add them.
Oh, okay. Well, I can do that.
No, I can
The
do it
dog
real
is
quick
snoring. Isn't that awesome? Oh, so I can give you permission. Like, I thought you were an owner in here. Let's give Joelle permission. Oh, wow, wow, it's old. Okay. Oh, so you're just read only in this thing. Everyone except external users. Okay. I think I must have done that like some other time when we were testing permissions, because I know that at some point you were working on these with me. Okay. Okay, now you have full control. And look, student 167 and 161, like we can just see if those are enabled or not. But you can just add somebody else that's an active student, and we can go log in as them. Okay. Okay, so creating using this metadata. So I can go create a new page like I started to do here. So I'll just call it fun template. And then I'll just hit publish. And then after I hit publish, I'll say save as page template. I like that. I like that way better than the way I did earlier, is when I click save as draft. So it actually saved it. And then I click save as template. So then I had like 2 copies of it floating around. But this seems like a smoother way, is to create your page and publish it. And then after it's published, click to save it as a template. So let's see. Let me see if I end up with 2 of them though. I still might. Okay. Let's go to my template details while I'm editing the page. And then I can change my thumbnail to be something wacky and fun stuff. And then here's my metadata. So I can edit the metadata of the page that I'm on while I'm editing the page. So I'm changing this to type of page fun. And I could even change the date the article posted if I want to do something later with like sorting my news by date if I need to bump something up higher, which gives you the ability to at least edit a date in news pages and other pages. Okay, so that is my metadata, and I'll go ahead and save the template. Let me see if I ended up with 2 different pages. See, I created a page called Fun Template, and then I clicked Save as Template so that it gave me Fun Template. So I actually did, either way that I created it, I ended up with 2 pages. So just FYI. So I don't need to have an actual page called Fun Template and a template called that.
I sent you student username and password whenever you need it in the
thanks.
chat.
Okay. I'm looking to see if there's anything new up here too. Okay, there is it. So now I created the fun template with a type of page fun. So from now on, so that's the good thing, is that from now on, when anyone goes in here and creates a new page and picks fun here, then they're automatically going to have that metadata already set up in there. So the metadata is just another way of kind of knowing what category that they pick. So this is just an idea for a way that you can kind of organize your pages, especially when you have a whole bunch of them. I'm so creative. So then there's a page that I created that's not a template, that I use the fun template to create. and then I would customize it. So then what can we do with that metadata? That's the next question. That's what I'm not really sure yet. So I'm going to go to my home page and I'm going to try something. So I'm going to try just doing a highlighted content web part. I think I've tried this before in the past, and the highlighted content web part didn't do what I was expecting. It didn't give me the ability to filter by that metadata, but that would be just the perfect thing to do with that web part, is to use the metadata, right? So I'll go say, let's see, all sites in the hub,
Yeah, so it
pages.
won't, I can
What?
tell you right now, it won't let you do all sites in the hub, but if you do this site, it will have filter.
Oh, so it depends on what your source is,
Mm-hmm.
as far as what it lets you filter. So, but if you just have all sites and you try doing a filter, it just simply doesn't do anything. It just doesn't tell
I think
you.
I don't know what the filter options are, but I don't think the page properties are in there if you do all sites in the hub. I mean, you can try it, but I'm pretty sure from when I've tested, it doesn't let you do page properties from.
Okay. And Ed, I'm not surprised. Ed said you don't need edit permissions to the com site to put comments or like a comment. That makes
Yeah.
total sense, because usually the communication site is like news, and you're just general people in your company are responding and making comments to the news. So
Yeah.
just kind of similar to Yammer. Yammer's like more of like a full discussion thread, but this is like sort of miniature, and if you don't want people to make comments, you can turn it off for that for each page. There's even a setting, like a global Office 365 setting, that lets you completely turn off the ability to have comments.
Yeah.
Okay, so this site, pages, and I'm going to say filter, manage property, and then what was that called? Type, I think.
Yeah, you should see page properties though.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
because I
those are
didn't do a managed
managed.
property.
Yeah. I wonder if it's try taking off the page or the pages thing.
Take.
Yeah, can you just do like all? No. Yeah, try doing that, and then see if now click on no, just click on that and then do. No, there's somewhere, maybe it's in the news web part. There's somewhere where it
Oh.
actually says page properties, and I think it might
Oh,
be the
really?
news web
Okay.
part.
Let's try
Yeah.
the news web part then. But those ones that I created weren't news articles, so I'll just have to add some news articles that make sure we have some that have fun as
Yeah. Because here, if you do, you'll see that. Yeah. So if you have all sites in the hub selected, you're not going to see filter when you scroll down. But if you do this site, you will, and then you'll be able to click. It's at the very bottom. And then there, you'll see page properties.
Oh,
There it
page
is.
properties. Who
Yeah.
knew? Look at that. Type of page equals. And it's a drop down. It even lets me select one or more. Awesome. Thanks, Joelle. So if I had picked, this is important, y'all, if I had not picked this site, it wouldn't give me this filter down here.
Right.
So now, look at this. So now my news web part is only showing me news articles that have that metadata type of page of equals fun. So that is one way that you can do your meta. And I just happened to create that as a choice field. But you could also do like, let's see, page properties, article posted before. Oh, I wonder if it takes like a dynamic property here. Probably not. But after, like, I don't think it takes like today in here. I'll just say after. So it's got none that were posted after 2/1. When did I post them? There we go. So now it's just showing me articles posted after a certain date. Any questions about that? So
Yeah,
besides,
I mean,
go ahead.
and you can kind of keep in mind that like you can have multiple news web parts on a page like this, and with different styles. Like you could have one that's got the big story, with all, the little one on the side, and then you could even have one that's just like a list of articles. So like you could do like feature different types of articles on that homepage. A lot of people do that because they might have like the corporate comm stuff, which is super important and wants that like nice, pretty, like big web part. And then on the side, you might have like a roll up of all your department news or something. There's a couple of different ways to do it.
Yeah. Nice and compact there. You could just say fun stuff and have that like smaller. So yeah, that's another thing that we kind of noticed last week when we were talking about the lookbook, is that any one page had multiple news web parts.
Yeah.
They just were configured to look different and configured to filter different, maybe
Content.
different subsets of information.
Yep.
So there's my carousel version.
And the one thing that Rachel's asking is this only usable within the site collection, or can you upload a template to a different site collection? So it only is the purpose is only in this site collection, but I mean we might be able to like try downloading it and uploading it. We haven't tried that yet, but to see if we could like bring it over to another site collection.
I tried doing that with Flow the other day. It didn't quite work.
Yeah. I mean, my assumption would be you would have to create the templates folder first to have the templates folder there in your other site collection and then upload to it. By that point, you might as well just create the template over again.
Oh.
But yeah, that's something that'd be interesting to see, like with site designs, though, if they end up adding this as an option in site designs, where you could put this out there, put something like that out there.
Okay, let me pull up this. I'll log in as that other user and just see what it. So that this other user has read only, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just go as a guest window here. Sorry for the delay, people. I always hate people having to sit here waiting for me to log in as somebody else. I try to avoid doing that in demos. Okay. You like our custom login page, isn't it lovely? Sure. Okay, so that was sites / communication.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now this is what my lovely publishing page looks like as an end user. I can read stuff, and I can go read news, and I can even go to pages, the pages library, and see what all the pages are. But just like everything in SharePoint, when I don't have access to do it, I don't have a new button, and I can't edit anything. So inherently I don't have any of those menu options. I don't have any of those menu options for editing or saving as a template or anything like that. So, but end users can make comments. This is what I think. Can't type. And I like it. Okay. And then the person who created this page is actually going to get pinged. They're going to get a notification in their app. And I think they just recently announced that they're also going to get an email about that someone made a comment on their page. Okay, so that's from any other questions about permissions while I'm still in here. Angela says, can approval process be added before publishing for specific roles? Yeah, there's a out-of-the-box approval workflow. I don't know if I did. I think I did a power hour about that. Or I did it in a power hour. We can look at that real quick. Not as the end user, though. I'll just leave this window open if anybody wants to see that. Let's see. Go back to... That is as me. Yeah, I just got a notification on my Apple Watch about that comment on that page because I have the SharePoint app on my phone. Isn't that cool? So it just says student so and so posted this comment, company picnic. Okay, so here is our site, and here, what was I gonna do? Totally lost my train of thought when the
Page approvals stuff.
Oh, approvals. Okay. You got to go to your pages and go to flow and say configure page approval flow. And that's how you can set that up. I think I did that in a whole other power hour, and I think I did that already, and I did that in our training too. But that actually creates a flow for you, and the flow, it actually, you will be the owner of that flow. And what you could do is, and you could edit it. So you could go into that flow and actually put, if it's this category, go to this person, etc. You could do a whole routing table of people. And that way, depending on like the metadata, the type of page, or a department column or something like that, you could make it route, to someone different for approval. But that's a whole other ball of wax. Unrelated to page templates. The page template is just where you could set that metadata in the template, and then people could just leave it, let it have the default, or they could still edit it. So that's another thing about the templates, is that they're still going to be able to edit anything. Once they create the page from the template, they're still going to be able to edit anything. It's just that you're setting the standard, you're putting the whole, the page in place, and you're saving them some time too. Let's see. Let's see, what was Rachel's question? Do we get? Is it like, they said, is it similar to saving a list as a template? Yeah, because when I change the template later, it's not going to change. We can test it, but it's not going to change the pages that are using the template. I can test that real quick though. So I'll go to my fun template, and I'll change the fun template, and we'll just go double check and see if changing the fun template changes anything that was using the template. So I'll do something really obvious. I'll delete this giant picture here. And yeah. Anyway, I'll save the template. So I've deleted the big picture. And we'll go to one of the other pages that use the template. Yeah, that wouldn't make any sense if it actually propagated the changes down, because people are going to be changing the pictures anyway. Like, you want them to change the pictures. Yeah. So yeah. Let's see. Greg says, is there any way to apply permissions on an item in SharePoint Online depending upon the permissions without a flow?
He says, depending on the metadata of an item, he added.
Oh. Just with flow, yeah. And old SharePoint 2010 workflows.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Yeah. If what is stored in the template gallery, Angie. I'm trying to figure out what she's asking.
Maybe just about saving it and bringing it to another site is what I think they're curious about.
Oh, yeah. That's
Oh, the old template gallery. No, it's actually stored in the site pages and template in the templates folder. She's talking about the
yeah.
old template
Oh
gallery.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's yeah. This is totally unrelated to all that old stuff. So you don't even have the publishing features enabled on any of the stuff we're doing in modern. Like nothing in modern uses any of that old publishing features that are enabled in your old publishing site. So that, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And that is where you're going to see like that old page layouts and the master page and all that really, really old stuff that we don't use anymore. That would be, and let me go to, I can't even remember how to get to site settings now. It's in a different place. So that would be site collection features, SharePoint server publishing infrastructure. See, we're not using any of that stuff in the modern. So don't, and if you've never heard of that, don't even worry about it. Definitely don't turn that on. Errol says there a way to put parts in the templates that cannot be changed. No,
Not that we know of.
there isn't. You would just have to tell them not to change it. There isn't a way to just lock it down. I mean, maybe there's a custom code way, but with a custom written web part, but not with not
I'm
with
sure
anything.
there's a custom web part option, but not that.
Yeah. Wow, we almost filled up a whole hour with this, and there's not much to it. It's pretty simple. So you just, let's see if NewsLink does it too. No, NewsLink is the same.
Yeah.
And it doesn't filter this list down depending if the template was created for a news post or a page. So whether I click new page or new news post, it gives me the same list here. So at least for now, I'm going to need to probably give these templates good descriptive names so that I'll know if I'm a user who's creating pages, I'll know it'll say the word news or something in it, and I'll know what that's for. So like this is communication news template. This is just like a team site template, fun template. Let's see. Yes, Christy. She said that they have wiki page libraries throughout. Suggest redoing this as modern. Yes, definitely. And someone last week posted a link to a way to do that via PowerShell, like convert old pages to like move them to modern with PowerShell. But I don't think all the web parts are going to translate. And I would personally, I would want to just redo them all from scratch. But I mean, if you have hundreds and hundreds of them, then I guess it makes sense to run a script, and because you just don't have the bandwidth to manually recreate a bunch of pages. And there are plenty of companies that have that situation, but I would recommend just creating new pages and maybe even rethink kind of the way you were doing things. Like you might have like really old cheesy icons with little stick figures in them as you're in your the way that you were putting up promoted links and putting up like old media web parts and things like that. Like you can use all these nice slick images and just images right off the web and make them look really nice compared to kind of the cheesy, crappy old classic pages and the way they look to us now, which they looked really, promoted links looked awesome at the time. Like, right, Joelle? Remember those came out? Yeah. We were just like, oh my gosh, finally so cool. We don't have to put a bunch of individual images on our home pages with links on them. So, yeah. Any last questions? Lisa says, what modern web part would you use for wiki? Well, there's just a text web part. So, I mean, when you say wiki, I assume you mean just typing some text on a page.
Yeah, I think they're also talking about just the ability to do the linking and everything with wiki, which I think it's kind of considered outdated.
Yeah, wiki, that thing with the auto linking, that's not a thing anymore. So just to type text on a page, though, you're just going to use that text web part. How do you get subsites to become associated with a hub site? You don't.
Site collections are
He said,
associated.
Larry said subsites.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. It's
Yeah.
site
Oh,
collections.
that's the answer. Yeah. The
Yeah,
answer
yeah.
is to create them as site collections and not have subsites anymore. But that's a lot of work, I know. But only a site collection can be associated with a hub site. You can't go down and associate individual subsites with hub sites. So what you want to do is migrate everything to eventually to be in that flat structure that they keep promoting.
Yeah. Yeah, move from subsites to site collections.
They said I need to adjust my camera settings. I know, and I adjusted them, but then this little so let me move this back down. I'll show you what somebody was bugging me about the background. And
I think it's just because I'm so pale in
the
comparison.
fact that I look like I'm under a heat lamp. It's because of this the green screen, and when I adjust my the white balance, it shows this little, I'll show you, I'll even show you since, we're out of time, and it's really frustrating. It shows this little, see this little gray box around me when I change it? See, my green screen doesn't really work as well when I lower the white balance. So that's the point where that blurriness disappears around me. So that's to answer your question about the way my the way my skin tone looks. Right. Lisa says, would a subsite inherit the look from its site collection? Only if it's modern, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would if it was modern.
I could create one real quick just for fun. Ooh, I haven't created, you know how long it's been since I created a new subsite? Golly.
I know, same.
Does it even let me do that?
Yeah. I mean, you might have it turned off, though. I know you can turn that off.
I might have turned that off. Yeah, no, I don't even have I can't even create a new subsite. That's funny. Oh, okay. Thanks, Stuart. Yeah, no, subsite is not a thing anymore. At least I must have turned that off. And at least this is a communication site. So communication sites are just like, no, we don't do subsites. We don't do that here. So, okay. Thanks everybody for coming. And thanks everybody that's new. And don't forget to come meet us at SharePoint Saturday in Atlanta, Saturday. And come see us we'll be at the SharePoint conference in Vegas. And let's see. And we're going to have a get together. Somebody created a special channel in here just for, it's called SBC 19. I'll put a link to it in Power Hour. If you're going to SBC 19, then you can click, I just put it in the Power Hour channel. You can click that link and go to the SBC 19 channel in Slack. And then we're going to figure out the 21st. Yeah, the 21st. Oh, when we're going to meet at MGM Grand or around that area to just meet in person and have a little impromptu sort of Power Hour powwow get together. Power Hour SharePoint pint. Cool. We're looking forward to seeing you there, and we'll probably have some of that swag with us. I don't know how many we're gonna have though, so you'll just have to come up and bug us. And we're not having a booth at SharePoint, this SharePoint conference. We're new to the whole booth thing, so we figured we'd start out by doing SharePoint Saturday, maybe a SharePoint conference another time. All right, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time, and have a good afternoon.